Star Wars collectors, and welcome to another Bossk's Bounty video, and welcome to an opening Star Wars figures video, or an older Star Wars figures video. I tend to do these figures with my son, and today is no exception, so I do have Little Bossk with me. Do you want to say hello?
Hi.
There you go, here he is. So, we are going to be opening up 4 figures today, which is usually the way we do it. We have one from the original trilogy collection, I think that is. We have 2 from the Phantom Menace line, which are actually really nice figures. And we have one from the Legacy collection. So with all that being said, we're going to get on to the first one. And this particular one is Mayo from the Cantina. And this is a figure that me and my son are already arguing over because we both don't have this in our collections. And yeah, once the video finishes, we'll probably still be arguing about who's going to get this one. But we'll just take a quick look at the packaging. So the racetrack design, so it's almost the vintage collection. Almost, but just not quite there. And then you can see a scene just behind the figure there. You've got the band playing, the Bith band, the modal nodes, a couple of other characters in the Cantina, and there he is. And this is an awesome sculpt. We're going to open him up in a second. And there's the back. You can actually see this one was imported. And there is Mayo. So we're going to open him up and we're going to tell you what we think. All right then, so here he is out of the packaging, and we've just put him here with some of the other guys from the Cantina, and we've also put him on an accessory that you can get for the Cantina there. I think he looks pretty smart. And what do you think of the figure, Little Bossk?
I think it's really good. I think they should put this figure in the vintage collection, only with a bit more articulation.
Only with a bit more articulation. You're right, he does need more articulation. He is lacking in that area. It is an older figure though. It's from the original trilogy collection. I can't remember what date that was. 2003, 2004, somewhere around there. And yeah, he is lacking articulation in many areas. Shoulders, he's only got the swivel elbows, nothing on the wrists, nothing on the ankles. He does have hinged knees, which is always good because of course when they're in the Cantina, you want to be able to sit them down. So unlike some figures, here's looking at you, Hammerhead, he wouldn't be able to do that. So at least you can actually sit this guy down if you wanted to. But he's a good looking figure, really nice sculpt and everything. You can see there the detail on him. And yeah, man, if they would only do this kind of thing in the vintage collection, I think they would have to maybe do some kind of Cantina Aliens figure pack or something, because I'm not too sure how well these figures would do on their own sort of cards just in the main line. So yeah, not only would I like all of the figures in the Cantina, but an actual Cantina itself would be quite handy in the vintage collection. Is that something you'd like, Little Bossk? I
would like it because I've got lots of figures that can go in it.
Yeah, we have. It has to be said, over the years, Hasbro have done a lot of the characters for the Cantina. So, you know, as I say, a lot of them do probably need updating, this guy included. But we have got some that I would say are good enough. I think these 2 are good enough. Maybe his head is a little underscaled. But, you know, Dr. Evazan is a decent enough figure for a Cantina if they were to do that. So, all right, so that's Mayo or Mio from the Cantina. All right then, so next up we have the first of an episode 1 figure, and this is Watto. This is one of my favourite characters from the Phantom Menace. I do like his character, and by all accounts this figure isn't actually too bad in terms of the paintwork anyway, and the sculpt. I think it's been painted really nicely, which we'll see more of when we get him out of the packaging. Of course, if you're going to be bringing out something like this in the vintage collection, then they need to give it a bit more articulation and update the figure. But, you know, take a look at the sculpt in a minute. I'm sure many of you have got this figure at home, but, you know, with the episode 1 figures, I always just kept them on card. And I think, you know, a lot of people did that, and, you know, maybe thinking to the future, maybe they're going to be sitting on a gold mine or something. But alas, that didn't happen. These are everywhere. You can get these for, you know, a couple of £1 basically. So this one is going to be open for when I'm able to display a episode 1 mini diorama or something. And Watto, being one of the sort of main characters from the episode 1, he definitely is one that needs to be opened. So there's the classic packaging for the episode 1 with Darth Maul in the corner. And let's open him up. All right then, so here he is out of the packaging. And as I mentioned before, you know, before we got him out of the packet, it is a great looking figure in terms of the sculpt and the paintwork. Not too much going on with the articulation. You can move his arms, you can move his head ever so slightly. And there he is standing on that sort of Comtech chip thing, which would make him talk if you had the the reader, but it wasn't great. It's got to be said, it wasn't great. But yeah, just look at the paintwork and everything on him. I think he looks fantastic. What do you think of him, Little Bossk?
I don't really like Watto in the Phantom Menace, but I think he'll look really good with my Jar Jar from this line.
Okay, and what do you think of the actual character and the look of him?
I think he looks like a bird combined with an elephant.
He does, yeah. Star Wars has got lots of weird and wonderful designs for their aliens, and I don't know, I quite like this one. Watto was quite funny in the Phantom Menace, but as I said, you know, in terms of figures from this line, they were painted really well and everything. It's just they lack a bit of articulation. But I don't think there's any real excuse of why, you know, Watto shouldn't be in the vintage collection. I think it'd look great on a vintage style card. I could just imagine the image right now that they would choose for that. And I think it looks really good. All right, so on to the next figure. Okay then, so next up we have another episode 1 figure, and it is Roon Harco. He is Newt Gunray's buddy, and we have had one of these species in the vintage collection. We had Dolte Define, which is a pretty good figure actually. So it's weird that they chose him over either this guy or Newt Gunray, in my opinion. It's a bit of a weird choice, but that's what they did, and here he is once again. Great looking figure, nice sculpt, decent paint and everything. We've seen the packaging already, so we're just going to go straight away and open him up and check him out. Okay then, so here he is out of the packaging. I think his name is pronounced Roon Harco. As I said, he is Newt Gunray's mate, and I'm not going to try and pronounce the species of these because I know that I will just get it messed up, and then I'll get people in the comments saying to me it should be pronounced like this. But anyway, it is a nice looking figure. It is one of those like salt shaker type ones. He does have legs underneath the plastic robe, and they do move. They are articulated, but you can't really move them because obviously, let me just show you the bottom. You can see there that the plastic gets in the way, so he can't really move. But these guys really just stood there anyway. He's like, as I say, Newt Gunray's buddy. He just stands there, you know, having a little poo-poo when the Jedis are on board. He gets really scared. So, as I say, you're just going to want them standing there in your setup. They're not really going to do much, so they don't really need too much articulation or anything like that. Does he have, what's he have, swivel elbows there, is that? Let me just see. Yep, he has a swivel elbow and a swivel at the shoulder as well, and yeah, the head moves. What do you think, Little Bossk? What do you think of this figure?
I don't know, I've got nothing to say.
The thing is, Little Bossk absolutely loves the Phantom Menace, but I think it's one of those ones where he's watched it so many times from when Darth Maul comes out, and he just watches the end battle, that a lot of the rest of it just sort of just goes away in his mind, and you can't really remember too much about it. But you know, these species, these guys, they were quite funny and everything, and some people don't like the Phantom Menace, but I actually quite like the film. So yeah, good ones to have in the collection. All right then, and finally we have Darth Vader from the Legacy collection. Now I think, let me know in the comment section below if I've got this right, but I think this is pretty much the same figure that you can get in the vintage collection VC08 with the removable helmet. You know, you've got the dome piece and the mask piece, and there you can see Sebastian Shaw underneath there as well. You know, the head with the scar on it and everything. I'm pretty sure that this is the same figure from VC08, but as I say, let me know in the comment section below. But why have we got this figure today, Little Bossk?
So we can compare him against the new Darth Vader that's coming out.
That's right. As you all know, there is a new Darth Vader on that Return of the Jedi card coming out in, I don't know, a couple of months' time. It's in the next wave after the other wave that we're all waiting for, with Piet in it and everything. And I cannot wait to get my hands on that figure. So I had this Legacy Collection one sitting here, and I thought, okay, we'll open him up, and then we can sort of do a little comparison when we get that new one. And we'll also compare him against VC08 when we do that as well, because I'll get a few different Vaders out and compare them all. But that's why we're opening this one today. And the Legacy Collection packaging was nice packaging. You've got that Stormtrooper helmet there, and there is Vader. And then on the back you get that droid part. I'm pretty sure I've already completed R7Z0, so I don't need that part. But there's some of the other figures that you could get in the line, and I'm pretty sure we've got all of those, haven't we, Little Bossk? We've got Chewie. You've got the Luke, haven't you? Have you got Sandstorm Luke?
I don't think I have.
You don't think you have? What about Han Solo?
I don't think I have Han either.
Right, but you've definitely got them because you took them off me. Leak Tar and Nippet, you've got them two, haven't you?
Yep, I have.
And Akrev, you took that as well. Yeah?
Yep.
But I think I've got Bane Malar. I don't know if you've got him as well, but I've definitely got Bane Malar. He's on my barge. There's the Vader. And Yana Dal Gargan. I've definitely got her on the barge as well. So we're going to open this up now and check him out. All right then, so here is Darth Vader out of the packaging. And yeah, I'm not too sure if this is VCO8, is it? I think getting it out of the packaging, I think maybe they might have reused some of it. But what have you got to say about this one, Little Boss? You've got a real problem with this one, haven't you?
I think his helmet's quite poor because you can see his face underneath it.
Yeah, it's truly awful. I don't know whether they're all like this or maybe it's been in the package too long or something. But you can really see the gap there. Look, it just doesn't want to fit down. It springs back up. And yeah, that is no good, is it? And obviously the helmet is in 2 parts. So you've got this piece as well. And I'm trying to remember now if VCO8 did that. Maybe the original VCO8 did and then the reissue came with that stuck on. That's maybe how I'm remembering it now. But you get 2 pieces. That piece actually looks pretty good. You know, nicely sculpted and everything on. And the head of Vader looks pretty good as well. You've got some scarring. That does remind me of VCO8. And you've got the scar on the back of the head as well. Only got the swivel hips, and it just shows you how much the Vaders have come on with the new Dark Times Vader. So good compared to this. But Little Bossk is absolutely right. This is pretty terrible. The helmet is going to fit into there. And then when you plonk this on, it just doesn't fit over the head properly. And then it just springs back up. And you can just see that gap under there. Look at that. That is terrible. He also can't hold the lightsaber in both hands because one of his hands is a force choke. So obviously with the Dark Times Vader, you get the spare hands, the interchangeable hands. It's got that swivel at the glove as well. So thank God so much has happened since then in terms of quality and articulation and things like that, because this is a pretty poor Vader, it has to be said. Anything else you've got to say about this one, Little Bossk?
What I'm wondering is if the new Vader has a 2-piece helmet like this one.
Yeah, I think it does. Going by the images that we've had, I think it does. So what you're trying to say is that you're wondering is if that bit comes off and the mask, yeah, to reveal the head. Is that what you're wondering?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is the case. I'm sure, like everybody watching this, you are as excited about getting that Vader as I and Little Bossk are. I cannot wait for that Vader, especially with the card back from that amazing scene in Return of the Jedi. Just cannot wait for that one. But this figure, in the bin. All right then, so that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. This has been me and my son, Little Bossk, opening some older Star Wars figures. We had 2 episode 1s, one from the Legacy Collection and one from the original Trilogy Collection, which is that Mayo figure from the Cantina. And we're going to be going away now and probably having a little argument about who's going to get this figure. Spoiler alert, you know who will get it. Anyway, so thank you all for watching. I appreciate it.
And we shall see you on the next one.